Good morning. This is your worldwide weather update for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2026. It's going to be pretty hot out there, but I want to start out with some forecasts for the World Cup games from Spain versus, actually, no, for Portugal versus Uzbekistan. I forgot to change the title there, but the forecast is still correct. Thankfully, it's going to be at an indoor stadium because it's going to be pretty hot and humid out there. We're going to see temperatures close to 90 with heat indices over 100 degrees, so it's going to be very hot if you're outside. Thankfully, the game's inside, though, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Not expecting any rain for this game. Next game, though, could see a few chances of rain here in Foxborough, Massachusetts, as the system moves out. That's going to bring a bunch of rain for us on Monday and Tuesday, or before the game. High pressure will begin to slide in, though, and should be mostly dry, but can't rule out the chance for a few rain showers early on and about towards halftime in the game as well. Skies are going to be mostly cloudy. Temperature-wise, it's going to be pretty decent out there. Temperatures are going to be in the 70s degrees Fahrenheit, which I believe is around, which is in the mid-20s degrees Celsius. So, decent weather for the game outside, except for the rain that we are expecting. And then moving on to Toronto, it's going to be a beautiful evening for the game. Skies are going to be clear throughout the whole game. Temperatures are going to be in the low 20s. No humidity to worry about. It's going to be a great evening for the game against Panama and Croatia. And then the last game against Colombia versus the DRC. It's going to be pretty cloudy. Might have a few chances of rain that we got to keep an eye on. Should be brief and hopefully light, so not expecting any thunderstorms to impact the game, but I did put a moderate chance for a weather impact just because of a few rain showers, but no thunderstorms, so that's not going to impact the game, like, they're not going to have to postpone the game or anything because of rain. They keep going whether it's rain or shine. They only have to stop for thunderstorms, and we're not expecting that at all. Now, moving on to our headlines. Big headline for today is that we are forecasting a major heat wave for Western Europe. You got red heat alerts in effect, which are the highest tier of your warnings that we got, especially for France. Also tracking the tropics, Mekkhala is forecasted to impact Japanese islands, and then we got a new tropical depression behind it, and additional areas of development to watch in the Eastern Pacific. I'll get to that in a second. And then we got thunderstorm potential in parts of Canada with some isolated severe weather. Heat and wildfire threats continue in Kazakhstan, and storms and heavy rain continue in China. So moving on to the heat here across Western Europe. This is the Met Office warnings for the United Kingdom. And starting things off on Tuesday, we got amber warning sets on level 2 out of 3 for extreme heat, pretty much from areas Birmingham down southward across most of England, parts of Wales. Scotland not under any warnings. Moving into Wednesday, though, we got red warnings. That is on level 3 out of 3 on the extreme warning scale for most of central and southern England, surrounded by amber warnings for extreme heat. For Wednesday, going on to Thursday, pretty much repeating the same thing. Got extreme heat warnings, amber there, level 2 out of 3, and then red warnings there, level 3 out of 3 from London, Oxford, and Cardiff, England, through Thursday. Now moving on to France for, I believe, I'm not sure, is this, I believe this is Monday, so let's move on to Tuesday here. We got a bunch of red warnings here for extreme heat, surrounded by a bunch of orange warnings and yellow warnings for extreme heat. So yeah, it's going to be very hot across France. The heat wave continues there. Moving on to Spain now. This is going to be for Tuesday. We got a bunch of red and orange warnings for heat, surrounded by a bunch of yellow warnings for heat as well for Tuesday. Moving then on to Wednesday, we still continue with our warnings for heat. Not as significant as it was back on Tuesday, but we still got a bunch of red and actually a bunch of yellow and orange warnings here for heat, level 1 and level 2 respectively, for parts of central and northern Spain. Then moving on to Switzerland, we got a bunch of warnings here for heat too. Orange warning, which will be a level 3 out of 5, and some red warnings, which will be a level 4 out of 5. These are all going to be for extreme heat over the next few days. So yep, got very dangerous high temperatures over the next few days for Switzerland as well. And last but not least, Germany, we got a bunch of warnings for extreme heat. The highest warnings are going to be there in the dark purple to the west of Stuttgart. That is going to be a extreme heat warning surrounded by heat warnings there. So basically, extreme heat warning level 2 out of 2. Heat warnings are going to be level 1 out of 2. But either way, it's still going to be very hot across central and western Germany. You really got to get farther north to escape the extreme heat. And if you look at the models here as we go throughout the next few days, this is going to be high temperatures for Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday is the 23rd. And you can see temperatures up around in the mid-30s across parts of France and Spain, maybe even 40s for some locations across Western Europe. And then moving on to Wednesday, pretty much repeating the same thing. The highs are going to be in the upper 30s to maybe low 40s, especially across Western France and Germany as well. Temperatures going to be in the mid to high 30s. And then moving back on to, I believe this is Thursday. Heat continues with temperatures in the mid to high 30s across Western and Central Europe as well. Then moving on to the tropics, we got two areas, two tropical systems in the Western Pacific that we're watching for. Typhoon Mekkhala, that's a very strong typhoon that is moving off towards the Japanese islands. It should stay to the east of Taiwan, but if you're in Okinawa or these Japanese islands, you gotta keep an eye on this. It should weaken by a tropical storm by then, so biggest threats are going to be maybe some strong winds and some very heavy rainfall, but not as intense as it could be. And then we got another system behind it, is this one's a tropical depression. This one expected to stay out to open ocean, maybe only impacting Iwo Jima and some of these islands out here in the North Central Pacific, but not really too much land that is going to be impacted other than maybe some potentially strong whip currents. This system is also expected to maintain itself as a tropical storm, not expected to develop into a typhoon at all. And then we also have two areas of development here that we're watching for in the Eastern Pacific. Both of these have very low chances of development within the next 7 days, about 30% chance of development, but we'll keep an eye on them just in case if there is any additional development. Not expecting any development, though, in the Atlantic. And then last weather headline, we still continue with our wildfire potential here in Kazakhstan. Dangerous heat too. We got red warnings here for heat and wildfire. That is a level 3 out of 3 there in the red. A few thunderstorms also possible here in the orange and yellow, and it's also going to be pretty hot there in parts of Kazakhstan. And then moving on over to China, we got quite a bit of heavy rain across south central or southeast central parts of China. You can see there 150 to 250 millimeters here over the next day or two. They are forecasted in purple. 50 to 100 millimeters there in the dark blue, and then 25 to 50 millimeters of heavy rain there in the light blue. We are also forecasting a few storms here, especially across the northern part of China into the North China Plain and in the Manchurian Plain. They're capable of producing some winds up on the scale of 10, I believe, on the Beaufort wind scale or whatever their wind scale is that they use there. So we can see some very strong winds here with these storms as well. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you stay cool out there in Western Europe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave the comments down below or send me a direct message. And until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.